So, in a world where we've watched superheroes stop Atlanteans from invading their territory, and we've watched superheroes fly into space and stop the tears in the universe, and we've watched superheroes try to stop a man from going to the center of the universe and wishing the universe away, and we've watched horrors like Saw, comes the movie Sound of Freedom, which is a movie about a federal agent, a heroic federal agent that uncovers a child ring and basically saves a father from having both his son and his daughter be sold into horrific. Now, I don't know why this movie has such a bad score. I don't know why someone, and you can go look this up yourself, critics would go and watch a movie like this and give it a score of 50 something percent in Rotten Tomatoes, and then go and watch a movie like Saw where people are being, for the pleasure of some psycho, and give that movie 90%. Maybe I'm missing something, all right? But from my perspective, this was a great movie. Now, I thought it was going to be preachy. It's not preachy. I thought it was going to be all about, Jesus and God and all kinds of things. It's not about that. It's about a man who saves two children from their lives being ruined by being basically sex workers forever. On top of that, it's also about he also saves 50 children, right, from this child ring that's on some island somewhere. And actually, at the end of the movie, they show the raw footage what of what was done and these people, and they actually show this actual individual. This is a real person. Now, this is a fictionalized story. I don't think the whole thing is true. Parts of it are true. According to the director, he wrote the movie before any of the controversial issues associated with the actors that are in the movie. Um, but for whatever reason, this movie was not supported by some people. It still ended up making more money than Mission Impossible this year because anybody who has any kind of conscience and understands storytelling and just like a good story or whatever would have no problem with this movie. Whether he's motivated by God or not motivated by God, newsflash, some people in this world do good things because of God. And is there something wrong with that? If you were sitting in a dungeon somewhere and someone had a vision that they needed to come and save you because God told them to do so, and they showed up at your cell after you've been tortured, abused, and what have you, are you going to say, no, that's okay? No, that's okay. You're too preachy. No, that's okay. You believe in QAnon, so don't save me. Many of the people that keep this country of America safe from all kinds of foreign entities that would love to disrupt and destroy it are Christians, right? Are you turning down their help? I just see this is where I'm lost watching this movie because the structure of the movie is great, the story is great, the acting is great, the tension is great, the scenarios that they put in work perfectly. The kids do a great job. The cinematography is top notch. The directing is great. The story is good. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie to the point that, and I was so moved by it that it actually brought me to tears on multiple occasions. So if you haven't seen Sound of Freedom, I ask that you go and watch it because this is quite frankly a great movie. And don't watch it on one of these fake streaming platforms that don't give money to the movies, basically allow you to watch the movie for free for a period of time because they're somehow sketchy. Rent this movie and go and watch it. Before you watch a movie about Napoleon, a genocidal maniac who did all kinds of horrible things in this world, before you watch a movie about Oppenheimer, who built a bomb that killed thousands upon probably hundreds of thousands of people when you count the after effects of the bomb, the radiation and whatnot. Not to mention all the things that happened here while the bombs were being tested. Not to mention what it did to the Native American population, poisoning their water supply and things of that nature. Glorifying a man such as this, making a movie about them, and then turning around and having an issue with Sound of Freedom is beyond perverse. So I won't say much more about it. Go and watch it. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it. Great work directing. Uh, at some point in time, we've got to leave people's personal agendas on the side and focus on what they're actually doing and how they're actually benefiting society. And this movie benefits society, bringing to the front lines this major problem that we have with and slavery in general, which continues till this day. And as they stated in the movie, there are far more people today enslaved than when slavery was actually legal, right? This is a serious topic, and this is the kind of stuff that the vision of filmmaking is supposed to be, to a certain extent, about. This is the kind of story that brings empathy and brings public eyes to issues of social importance that we don't get anymore from the CNNs of the world, that we don't get anymore from even storytellers, because they're too busy just focusing on how they can put together these canned stories that are ultimately just they might as well be AI driven, because they're completely driven by metrics and demographics and things of that nature, as opposed to being driven by storytelling and the actual art. So once again, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a great movie. I loved it, and I am sure that if you actually give this movie a chance, you will love it too. This is Sign of Reason. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and continue to join us on this wave of common sense.